So today I will be continuing my replay of the Super Mario Galaxy Duology as Luigi, to the best of my ability at least. The plan initially for Galaxy 2, which I'm starting today, was to do the green stars on this file here, which I previously got 120 stars in back in late 2022. But that was when I thought that the green stars were more of like a retread through the typical objectives, but apparently they're more so hidden as kind of like bonus stars. And because I want to properly replay this game, as opposed to just jumping in and collecting the green stars, I'm definitely going to start a new file here. I have enabled a gecko code, which is similar to like an action replay code. I don't know what the difference is exactly, but it's a code that should unlock Luigi from the start. I mean, I might have to play through the first level as Mario, and then once we get to Starship Mario, I can ideally swap to Luigi, assuming this code works. Another option is to also turn on the gecko code that enables green stars immediately, and do those as I go, as opposed to doing 120 stars normally, and then maybe later down the road, or maybe even following doing this, if I'm feeling up to it, doing the green stars in addition, like kind of as a part of this grander set of playthroughs. But I'm just not entirely sure. I think if the green stars didn't boot you out, then that would make sense. Like kind of jump in, get the green star on my way to the regular objective, and just kind of like do that for each level. But I feel like that would be a bit much if I were to enable them right away and do 240 stars. I think I'd rather just do like the standard 120, maybe take a break from this game, and then come back at a later date and do the 120 green stars on top of that. I think I've decided. I think that's what we're gonna do. So in that case, start a new file. I kind of wish that this game handled playing as Luigi in a similar way to Galaxy 1. It's nice that you can swap between the two on the fly during any given playthrough. But I also kind of like that Luigi sort of gets his own campaign, even if it is the same objectives and all that. So yeah, we're gonna have to play through this opening as Mario before I can actually swap to Luigi, but we'll just pretend, you know. I'm sure there's a... supposed to go down this, or... no. Hmm? And dude's cursing at us. So, I guess the first thing to note, I mean, I talked a little bit about the differences and my preferences when it comes to Galaxy 1 and 2 during my replay of the first Galaxy, which I've already finished up. But, you know, I can reiterate some things now that I'm actually playing through Galaxy 2 proper. And I kind of don't mind the like weird retreading slash kind of, you know, rushing over a lot of the story elements in this. Because at least for me, like, the appeal of Galaxy doesn't really have anything to do with the story, honestly. Even though the first game does put more of a focus on it, I know, you know, there are people who care about Mario lore and stuff like that, but this might come into play with a certain other game we can talk about in a bit. That's relevant right now, but... Did you just say, I'm huge? But, I got distracted. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I personally don't put a whole lot of stock into Mario lore and stuff like that, just because it's clear Nintendo doesn't really care about continuity. In terms of like most of their games, honestly, as far as like what they develop internally, and I know like Intelligent Systems is like a technically owned by Nintendo, but they're Intelligent Systems, and I kind of view them as like they do kind of do their own thing, sort of. Even if they are like under the Nintendo umbrella, right? So like that's a different story. Like if they care about continuity in certain cases, which they do to an extent. It's been a while since we've had Fire Emblem games that like actually connect. In terms of like mainline titles at least, but still that would be like one exception. But yeah, as far as like Nintendo's internal studios, like I don't, unless there is kind of an explicit connection, like, you know, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, for instance, is the one I tend to go to. Like, in those instances, yes, there's clearly some care for continuity. But in pretty much all other instances, I don't know, I just don't really put a whole lot of stock into it. So like with this game, for instance, it's like, it sort of kind of starts as a retelling, or like alternative telling of what we already saw in the first game. But I don't know, I don't really, like I said, I don't really care too much that that is the case. And with all that said, we'll get into this as I go, but I think currently, at least, you know, prior to these replays, this probably is singularly my favorite Mario game, even though I do kind of view the Galaxy games as a duology and kind of like two parts of the same whole. I'm like not used to controlling Mario now. I've been playing as Luigi the entirety of Galaxy 2. Few extra lives, I guess. Oh, right, and then you have these, like, bonus room kind of things. I kind of want to get in and start playing as Luigi. So I'm not going to... I'm really bad for that. I don't want to spend too much time on this first level, because I want to see if this gecko code is actually going to allow me to play as Luigi as easily as I hope it does. I guess another thing to note as far as Galaxy 2 individually is that I want to say it was developed as being intended as being more like DLC, and then they packaged it as its own thing. But this was also like prior to Nintendo doing DLC of a certain scale. Or really maybe at all, right? Because this was pre-3DS even. Because I think about like I was just saying with Intelligent Systems kind of doing their own thing, sorta. Like, with the Fire Emblem titles on 3DS, like, those were some of the first Nintendo published games to get DLC, from what I'm recalling. But as far as, like, you know, full-on console games with, like, expansions and stuff like that, I think it was Mario Kart 8 and Smash 4, right? Were some of the first? Or maybe even the first? Like, I remember it being a novel thing when Mario Kart was going to get DLC. Oops. So we see here even, it's like, this is kind of a variation on the first boss fight in Galaxy 1. Phase 2. That's impressive. Damn. Try to intercept it on this side, maybe. There you go. But yeah, from my memory of my last full playthrough of this duology, which was back in late 22. And I mean, I felt this all the way back when I first played these games back in, you know, the late aughts, early 10s in this game's case, I guess. This was a 2010 release. But, I just feel like this game, due to it being a sequel and due to it being kind of streamlined in the terms of how it's structured and presented, as far as the story and stuff, it kind of puts the focus more so on the level design, and there's a lot of great level design in Galaxy 1 for sure. I just feel like this game gets even more creative, even more varied, even more... I think it ramps up the intrigue and maybe even the challenge in some aspects faster. And I think ultimately this game is more difficult. I mean, it's a Mario game, but like, in terms of Mario games, and compared to the first Galaxy, I feel like the first Galaxy really only starts to get challenging with some of those later, like, purple coin missions and stuff like that. Arguably some of the later Galaxies too, sure. Some of the comets and stuff. And I'm not saying this game is, like, gruelingly difficult beyond the comets necessarily, but I just think, from what I'm remembering, there's a lot of like, interesting ideas, and they kind of, like, take those ideas a little bit further, I want to say. Game has been saved, so let's see. Hey, look at that. Oh, no, wait. Maybe I have to... grab that wheel and let's head out. So do I have to... maybe I have to go through these next few cutscenes. The fact that the Luigi emblem is already there is promising that I'll be able to just swap to him with this code. Yeah, because it's not there in the cutscene. So that, I think that indicates that the Gecko code is working. So what I'll do now is, once we get this little tutorial of like, hey, here's how a straight line works. Do I have to do this? I guess I might have to do one more level. I might have to do one more level before being able to swap to Luigi with this code active. But I wonder if I can quit out. I'm gonna try that first. I'm gonna boot in here. This is another major reason why Galaxy 2 is my favorite of the two. Because of good old Yoshi. So fun. Like, all the Yoshi stuff in this game is so awesome. Alright. I want to see if it'll let me go back to the Starship Mario. It does not look like it, because you just press B normally, right? So I think I'm going to have to play through one more level as Mario. Again, just like, put on your green-tinted glasses and just pretend. Alright, so we'll do this. We'll do this. We can skip this because we already saw it. What an awesome game, dude. I know we're, like, just getting started. Like, nothing's happened yet, but... ah, mess. Again, I've been playing as Luigi for the better part of, you know, 15 hours or whatever. And we'll get back to that shortly, hopefully. It's lit! Yeah, buddy! Oh, right, it's B. Yeah, okay. I gotta remember my own damn control scheme. Get the Comet Medal, of course. Oh, it looks like we can run full speed on these. Oops. Yoshi, no! Alright, this is just for extra lives. Okay. So I probably don't need to do these. Like, it's a good way to get some extra star bits, I suppose, but realistically speaking, maybe a little bit of a waste of time, depending. Oh, right, I forgot. Yeah. Yeah, and like I mean, I guess this is particularly without the motion controls. But the controls do get a little more complicated here because, you know, I'm pressing right bumper a lot more. Because, you know, I can't, like... The idea with the control scheme is, like, you press LB, right, to enable the pointer, and you move it with the right stick, meaning that unless you wanted to use your left thumb to move the stick, which is really awkward, then, like, pressing B isn't really... Like, the actual B button is not exactly ideal, so, like, really what you would want to do is press RB in terms of my control scheme. It seems like Phazon doesn't quite... It only adjusts, like, these types of dialogue boxes in terms of the controls. Like, that's an Xbox control stick right there. But yeah, the prompt, like, to press B, it's like... It is tricky to do that. Unless, like I said, like, you could conceivably do this, but then you can't move. It's like being able to move, aim, and do tongue stuff. I was like... I was thinking about phrasing it that way, and I was like, I'll just say it, fuck it. Coins! Yay. I love what they do with the music in this game, too, man. I mean, bringing back the... Because Super Mario World is an extremely nostalgic game for me. It's probably my favorite 2D Mario. I would say that. I did, like... I talked about this a little in some stream somewhere. But, like, I did a 96 exit run in Mario World for the first time, despite having played that game for, you know, decades at this point. And I was, like, kinda... I wouldn't say I was underwhelmed by it, but I was kinda, like, a little disappointed with how it didn't really ramp up the challenge as much as I had remembered or expected. But it's still just a very pleasant game to go through, and I enjoyed the process, ultimately. But it did sort of elevate these games, and, like, this game especially, in my eyes, as being, like, a cut above. But, like, Mario World is still certainly, like, top 5, if not top 3 Mario games for me. Yeah, and a lot of that, like, ingenuity when it comes to level design in this game is thanks to Yoshi. I like how it requires you to be a little more active with the pointer, too. Can you just run into them? Yeah. See, Nintendo, I mean, I know you wouldn't do this, but you could, you could steal my control scheme and just have that work for an official release of Galaxy 2. You could do it. I also, like, sorta, kind of predicted the control scheme for Skyward Sword HD, so there's that. I forget what's over here. Oh, that might be the Green Star location, maybe. But if the Green Stars boot you out, then, like, I don't want to get to the end. Oh, no, I see. Maybe, I don't know. I wish they didn't boot you out. Maybe there's a gecko code for that? But I think I'd rather, for simplicity's sake, just do standard 120 stars. And even then, like, I guess... Oh no, I mean, let's see if I can switch to Luigi now. Like, let's see if it'll let me with that, that gecko code enabled. Now that the tutorial is like kind of done. Alien eggs. There we go. Okay, sweet.
Luigi.
There we go, buddy. Back to that slow acceleration. And I will admit, like, the observatory is a more interesting hub world for sure. But it's also, I feel like, as a kid more so, like being able to fly around and shit. But as I've gotten older, I'm kind of like, I like it as a location and all that, but there's really not much to actually do. And so having something a little more condensed like this, maybe even, yeah, you just get a 1-up for this. Having something a little more condensed like this, and having the world map be a little more streamlined, and which, you know, also allows for a, like, steadier difficulty curve, I think I prefer. Oh yeah, there's another sky station. Does it show you which level the comet medal is on? I'm assuming it does. Probably. Storming the Sky Fleet. Ow. Let's see. Does this destroy them? I can't seem to, like, actually hit them. I keep conveniently missing. There we go. Yeah, you only get 3 star bits, so yeah, not really worth. Oh, I see. So I'm guessing, yeah, this opens the chests. Oh, wow. Oh, that knocks your star bits out. Wait, that's kind of fun. And by fun, I mean, kind of bad. I think we need the distance here. Maybe. I feel like that actually will reach. Oh, there's the key. Dude, I can't wait for... Like, this game has some of my favorite power-ups. Like, I think B and Boo Mario and stuff in Galaxy 1 is cool. And you get some of that in this game. At least from what I'm recalling. But, like, the cloud flower and the rock mushroom, it's like some of the best. And like the Yoshi fruits and stuff like that, man. This game is so damn awesome, man. Absolutely love it. Like, easy. Like, would I say this is in my top 10 of all time? I don't know. Maybe. It might be. In terms of like all time. It's definitely up there. It's one of my favorite 3D platformers for sure. Given that, you know, Mario has that pedigree, and if this is my favorite Mario game, it's like, well, that's pretty indicative of how I might feel about it in relation to other series. Now, I do want to keep an eye out for the Comet Medal, because I don't really remember where those are. I'm trying to long jump, and Luigi is kind of... can be tricky to long jump with because of his acceleration, or lack thereof. Oh, I see the launch star. I don't think the comet medals are ever in there. I think those bonus rooms are just for collecting extra lives. But yeah, we'll catch the launch star here. I like how it, maybe these always match. But wait, this must be the game that introduced, like, the flipping panels and stuff, too. The fact that that's not in Galaxy 1 is kind of surprising. Like, I always thought... Like, there are just certain things where... it was very common in my replay in 22. Where... I would be, like, recalling certain gimmicks or certain levels and thinking that they were in Galaxy 1, but they're actually in Galaxy 2. And it's like rarely the other way around. The Galaxy 1 is a great game, no doubt. It would be weird for me to say that like I don't like it because it's like so similar to this game. I just think that this game does improve on a lot of aspects of Galaxy 1, which you would expect as a sequel, but not everyone feels that way, and you know, that's fair. I must have missed the Comet Medal. But it might be in that first level and I just missed it. Oh shit. Don't die. I want to see, because I didn't even really remember that the Comet Medals, like, Comet Medals were a thing. Which, like, kind of indicates to me that they're usually pretty manageable to find. A ghost. Also, shoutouts to Lubba. Why is Lubba not in a Mario Kart game? You know? Like, obviously he was post-Wii. It's like, what's up with the Comet Medal? I do want to do 100%. Does it tell me which level it's in? Hmm. That is a little... Like, I'm wondering if which level I might have missed it in. This might be like a small downside. The fact that it doesn't tell you. I'm just gonna look it up because I missed it. It is in the first level, it looks like. Okay. I like totally... yes, the chat... I guess the chat was lagging because all your messages just popped in. All at once. Alright, so we're gonna replay this first level as Luigi. Yeah, no, it's not my fault that the chat was lagging, but now that I'm seeing your messages, Space Cowboy, good to see you, first of all. I did enjoy the Battle Network PvP video that you put up with the rest of our matches. It's pretty fun. And like, yeah, the anime references and stuff like that. Some of them go over my head for sure, but still, you know, fun nonetheless. And I'd be down to do some BN5 PvP at some point in the near future. Yeah, and then of course Raidou Remastered comes out imminently. Officially tomorrow, but technically I think later tonight it'll open up. I am not quite done with episode I guess yet, so I will probably wait until I'm done with that. It shouldn't take me too much longer, but I think I am going to... I'm not going to wait terribly long, but it's more just like... I don't want to be playing like 2 Mega 10 games at once, even if they are different. Also, I wonder, would I have gotten all the Comet Medals in... I could check my old save file, but now I'm like wondering, because it doesn't tell you, like, would I have missed this one in my old file too? And I think I have to actually land on these planets and like actually do this stuff. Like, instead of taking this launch star immediately, if I just float around... Maybe? Or maybe it's up on one of these... I don't want to, like, Google where these are. But it kind of looked like it was on one of these carts? Maybe? Yeah, I think that's what it was. Or maybe I think I have to ride one of these over to the other side. I'm very curious now to, like, check my older save if I actually have all the Comet Medals or not. Yeah, there it is. Now the question is, do I have to finish the level now? I'm gonna Google this real quick. I know I said this is my favorite Mario game, and yet I don't even know some of these things about it. Galaxy 2 Comet Medal quit. If you go back to a level you've already completed to get a Comet Medal, can you quit? It doesn't say the coins you get. You have to finish the level. It's part of the challenge. 15 years ago, GameFAQs post. That's part of the challenge? It's like, no, well, I mean, sometimes if you boot into a game to get a collectible, you can just jump out. DKC 2 does that. Way back when. Okay, so you have to actually finish the level. Not the biggest deal, because there's only one per galaxy, I want to say. And so now that I'm, like, aware of their existence, I will be a little more thorough in my exploration. This also gives me the chance to play through this first level as Luigi as well, to be fair. Oh yeah, you're right, because you still have to wrap up BN5 post-game stuff on PC. That's fair. That's totally fair. Oh, interesting, wait. So I guess when I was Mario, I guess I hit it square on, so it broke the egg immediately. Phase 2. I don't mind. I don't mind replaying a level to get a Comet Medal. I just, you know, at least they're not in the Comet levels, right? I just kind of wish it told you which galaxy the Comet Medal was in once you finished it. That's like a small oversight, I think. That's also probably going to be something that makes this game a little longer, which is not the worst thing ever. Might have an Ishim done by tomorrow too. Nice. I think, at least for the time being, I'm gonna go back to 2 videos a month, if possible, if I can keep it up. Because the FF13 video is gonna be a little bit shorter than, I anticipated. Not like super short or anything, it's like close to 20 minutes, but it's not even... It's like closer to the length of the FF10 video as of now, compared to some of my longer ones. Yeah, it does tell you if you have the Comet Medal unlocked, but it doesn't say... I think I'm going to do these galaxies as I go. We'll have to double back 4 comets, but the good thing in this game is that comets, I think once they spawn in, they're just permanently there, so you don't have to worry about, like, instantly going and doing them, which I think is nice. Like, imagine if that was the case for Mario Galaxy 1, then, like, it wouldn't be as tedious to, like, you pay the Luma to move the comet when you want to do comets, and, like, stuff like that, or just, you know. It just gives you more agency as the player, which I like. Oh, wait, yeah, I can spit these out, right? Or, yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. See, look at this. We've already got, like, sort of more advanced kinds of concepts going on. I want to keep an eye out for the Comet Medal, of course. I'm still kind of getting used to the controls a little bit, too. Because, you know, I did, like, test my control scheme with this game. I just haven't played it, like, fully, though. Goodbye, like it, too. I like how they're scared of Yoshi, that's pretty fun. Oh, I guess, wait, I already got the Comet Medal for this galaxy, so it's like, maybe is it always in the first level, maybe? I'm wondering now. But yeah, that's the nice thing, is like, once you get the Comet Medal, you don't have to worry about it. I'm guessing Lakitu respawns, probably. He comes over here. I gotta aim better. I like how advanced this is. It like almost... It turns it into like kind of a... It's almost like third-person shooter light in this case. But you also don't have to be like as accurate as you are when you're like shooting starbits, for instance. And in fact, the fact that... I mean, I guess Yoshi is better than shooting starbits because he'll like eat enemies as opposed to like just stunning them. Yeah, I kind of... I don't know, I did go into the fact that I tend to have an affinity for like platformers and kind of games in general that have a simpler control scheme, but that is more advanced in terms of level design and stuff. But at the same time, I think about games like Metroid Dread, for instance, or even Samus Returns, I guess, where like every button is kind of used to some degree, or like I kind of like I don't know. Samus Returns is a little clunky because you have like the touchscreen stuff, but for like Dread, it's like, okay, left bumper to lock into place, right bumper for missiles. It's like like a little more layered and interesting. It feels a little bit more technical, you know. Nice. So short on Galaxy 2. To see if YouTube has some videos on it. Hey, appreciate you for popping in, man. Yeah, this game is like... It's unfortunate that Nintendo doesn't have an official way to play this on, like, Switch, for instance. Oh, shit. Okay, so he's invulnerable. Gotcha. Big chunky Lakitu. Whew. Yeah, I wonder if there is a... If there was a Gecko code to have the green stars not boot you out, that would maybe be the definitive way to play, is like Gecko code, enable green stars from the start, and have them not boot you out. And then kind of play that way, where you go for the Comet Medal and Green Star in each galaxy. Or I guess Green Star is in each level. Comet Medal's one per galaxy, but yeah. Oh, we get the drill level already? See what I mean? It's like first level, boom. Kind of a sort of repeat of the first galaxy. Then it's like, here's Yoshi. Here's the drill. Here's this, here's that, etc. You can do the Hungry Luma as well. Also, Lubba's chill as fuck. Nice. Yeah, and the flip switches already? First world, you know? Maybe someday when you're not lazy, you'll download it. No, I mean, that's totally fair. It can be a pain in the ass to get, like, emulation stuff up and running and all of that. Spin dig. I think we'll do this because it is towards the dead end. Got the flip swap. This is a gimmick that, like, stayed with Mario, like, even through 3D Land, 3D World. I'm not remembering if these things are in Odyssey, but the fact that they stuck around for 3D Land and 3D World means Nintendo really liked this this gimmick in particular. Classic Nintendo tutorialization right there. Although I'm going to ignore this first set, and I thought I was going to stomp on him. Got my long jump trajectories off a bit. I almost thought it didn't proc. I should have shook sooner. That's what I should have done. It's like, what I like about these flip switches... Also, I should be keeping an eye out for... I think the comet medal in this one is like on the underside of a panel. But it's like, you know, you use the spin as sort of like a safety net for your platforming. In this game, in these levels, because there are multiple of them, but like these levels, I wouldn't say that they punish you necessarily, but they do... You have to like consider what you're doing a little bit more in terms of it. Yeah, there's the comet medal. Okay, it's not on the underside. It's simply like, see, if I spun there to readjust, I would have died. So it's like, if you're gonna spin, you kind of have to like plan out your jumps a little bit more meticulously. And you can also get through it without flipping them at all. It's good shit. Think before you shake. I just realized that was the name of the level. I was like, it's so fitting. Some free star bits as a refund. Didn't have an SD card or USB in PC. Yeah, I guess that's the tricky thing, is like, yeah, you have to have a way to like load these things onto an actual system. Oof. Yeah, I still have my Wii up in my closet, so like if I ever did want to... Like, I always thought the idea of turning my Wii into like a retro system, maybe kind of specifically for multiplayer games, like in the living room, I think that would be kind of an interesting avenue to go, whereas like my PC is sort of my personal, well, you know, of course PC stands for personal computer, but kind of like a more single player oriented. Oof. I did not think I would bonk on that. Go to the bottom here. Yeah, at least with those single star galaxies, it's very clear that the comet medal will be in that level. Yeah, I see the comet medal up here. I'm wondering, because of Luigi's like extra high... Oh, we can't wall jump off of these. Okay, I see. So they like intentionally want you to... Alright, so we dig to the other side. Dig up here. Grab the comet medal. It seems like the trend is that the comet medals are in the first level of each galaxy. Don't know if that is like a for sure thing. Yeah, I can't dig through that, so I'm pretty sure it's... Oh, I see. It's this right here. Controller. This is an Xbox controller. And this is using a control scheme that I made, which is also available. The INI file is in the Google Drive folder that I posted. Although I guess if you're going to play this on an actual Wii, you can just use the regular controls. But I kind of mapped this as like a conditional control scheme to where you can still do the ball levels and the surfing levels in Galaxy 1, which are flying levels here, by just toggling. It's not a toggle, you have to hold it, but like using the D-pad is kind of like a way to change functionality. Like for instance, you know, oh, I see. For instance, the right stick right now controls the camera movement, but if you were to hold up on the D-pad, it simulates holding the Wii Remote upright, which allows you to use the right stick to move around. And similarly, holding down on the D-pad simulates it being held like flat for the flying levels and whatnot. No, that's totally fair and totally valid way to play these games. It's just that, you know, like when it comes to playing these games on a PC, or even like a Steam Deck, as some people like to do, you know, you're kind of limited in options in terms of like pointer controls and stuff like that. But yeah, Dolphin is just a very flexible emulator in that way. It's by far, in my experience, the most versatile emulator in terms of control options. It's like really, like if every emulator had those kinds of control options, like I feel like that's kind of a no-brainer in my opinion, but I also understand that some emulators are like older and not updated as consistently and all that. Oops. Oh, I'm really bad. Damn. You gotta, like, not bounce on them in the center. I think that's the thing. Damn. Okay. At least he stood still for long enough for me to actually hit him the last time. Too much of a copy. Yeah, I mean, it's still Mega Leg, but at least the way you fight him is a little bit different. You know, like in the first one, you're climbing on top of him, luring a bullet bill. But that's also like, that's kind of a lot of what Galaxy 2's identity is like, in my opinion, it takes a lot of ideas from Galaxy 1 and like expands and I think improves in a lot of cases on ideas that were present in Galaxy 1. Oh, we get the cloud level. Right, the warp pods in the ears. I don't think I'm gonna really need an excess of lives, but I can mess around in Starship Mario just a little bit, at least. At least activate these. Talk to Captain Toad, see what's up. Find power stars and save Princess Peach. Then I'm back. And also, the infinite long jump, or like pseudo-infinite long jump, is now possible on demand. Borrowing Galaxy 2 from a friend. Yeah, these games are like so special. Like I was probably, what, I was 14 when this game came out? And they still hit. Like, I absolutely love this game. At the time, still do. But, you know. Alright, let's see what's up with this. Already got the Comet Medal in the previous level. Oh, Cosmic. Okay. Oof. Wait, what? I thought they would have despawned. Okay. I thought they would have despawned. Try this again. The thing to do is, like, hit this, activate it. Oh, whoops. I kind of just hold X on these. It's just a bonus room for more lives. Not too concerned about that for the time being. Oh, right. They kind of experiment with the trajectories here. Oh, wait, I guess I can... That doesn't really matter that much. Spent so much time on it. Still have it somewhere. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, these are like. It's hard to believe like how long ago that was, though. Yeah, you're totally right. I timed that very poorly. Probably another cosmic clone section over here, maybe? I'm kind of surprised that was just at the beginning. And yeah, I do like that this game actually like tells you when you hit a checkpoint. In Galaxy 1, I kind of already have a feel for when the checkpoints actually are. But it's nice to know for sure. Oh, right, this is a Silver Star level, okay. Yeah, so I think... Was it this one? I want to say there's another Silver Star level later on. With the drill. Like, I think there's a shifting gravity, or maybe that's purple coins. That's probably what I'm thinking of. Oh, I didn't even think I could get that with a jump. But I guess the drill extended my hitbox on that. That's what it seemed like. So now what I'll do is I think... Oh, that didn't quite take me all the way through. But I should be able to go through here. Perfect. Nice. Hey, thanks, Axel, for popping in. Appreciate the kind words. Yeah, Bouldergeist is probably my favorite boss from Galaxy 1 as well. Very cool fight. And the Daredevil run, at the very least back in the day, was like the cause of many frustrations. Then again, I think there is a galaxy in this game where you fight pretty much all the bosses from the first game. Which I think is cool. I like how it just auto-saves for you as well. Like a lot of little things, you know? As you would expect with a sequel to something, right? That they would kind of iron out some of the kinks. You know, it doesn't... Sequels don't always stick the landing, but when they're so iterative like this, it's like... I feel like it's kind of hard to mess it up, you know? Fluffy Bluff? Or right side down? I say we do right side down. We hold off on the cloud for just a little bit longer. Even though it is one of my favorite power-ups. Right side down, breaking the laws of gravity. Have we not been doing that this whole time? See, we're already... I know we're like near the end of like the first world, right? Already kind of messing with that gimmick from like the second Bowser level in Galaxy 1, I think. Keep an eye out for the Comet Medal, of course. Oh, coins. Oh, right, and at least in this game you can, like, can't you spend coins to, like, do a lotto for for more lives or something like that, I think. The Galaxy 2 on a Dolphin. Dude, yeah. No, it does. This is with an HD texture pack, but yeah, I agree. Like, even just upscaled or even native resolution, like either or, it's beautiful, yeah. Like, it's really, really impressive, in fact. I mean, I guess, like, Nintendo's been doing that for a long time, like, kind of making up for fidelity with strong art direction. Like the orange pipe. I don't know if this is... I think this is an optional thing, right? Oh, okay. Time for trauma. I think these might be harder than the bomb ones in Galaxy 1. Okay, good to know that they kind of have a piercing property. I don't think this one, yeah, this one's not that difficult, but there is one later that I think is tougher. I don't know, is it tougher than the bomb ones? Maybe. I have to think about that, actually. No, yeah, I mean, it's gorgeous. Like, super impressive. Like, because if anything, I do think that the most noticeable thing to me when I'm playing, like, older titles on a high-res monitor is, like, the UI. So, like, you know, if you're not a fan of, like, HD textures on, like, the models and stuff like that, which is not always necessary, it's, like, super easy to just, like, just take the UI textures and just play, like, regular upscaled. Alright, so that was the second star. The hidden star. So we can... I'm assuming, yeah, the comet medal's probably just in the first level always. It seems to be the pattern here. Are you running it with Vulcan? I think so. Let me see. Graphics. No, I'm running Direct 3D 11, actually. I couldn't exactly tell you why I'm using that API. Like, that's one of those settings that I kind of just, like, set and forget. I think with, like, Switch emulation, I tend to run Vulcan, I think. But yeah, I know, like, PC gaming gets a lot of shit for tinkering with options and stuff like that. And, like, I understand that to an extent, but really, especially with an emulator like Dolphin, which is, like, super well thought out in how it's designed, it's pretty easy to just kind of set that up once, you know, like you're setting up a console, and then not have to deal with it again. I'm really bad for that. I didn't realize how far he was going to reach. He's got a long neck there. I do want to, like, kind of explore for... Yeah, it's just, like, the extra life room. Yeah, I do want to look around for this comet medal. What is the purpose of flipping this? I guess to kill this guy, but also... Yeah. Backflip, do a backflip. Oops, got a little ambitious there. Got a little ambitious. Oh, there's the comet medal. Don't want to get reverse crushed. It's kind of fun. I mean, not fun necessarily, but, like, it's interesting. Like, you have to worry about getting crushed on either side compared to the usual Thwomp interactions. take a look at chat here in a second. What the hell is that? That's definitely not what I intended to do, but that's funny. Thankfully, we just hit a checkpoint, so it's fine. That was an interesting thing that just happened. Back to normal gravity. Oh, okay. I mean, that makes sense that it wouldn't count as a spin. I kind of want these star bits, though, so I'm going to wait for it to run out. Whatever. I could have made so much more progress if I hadn't waited there. Nice. This room is so fun. Like, it just, I don't know, it's pretty simple, but the fact that you just infinitely swap or whatever. Then the TV and the AV port doesn't work with the dongle. Oh, yeah. That's also the tricky thing with trying to run on original hardware for sure. Is like compatibility in that case. But there is tech out there for different like switches and adapters and stuff like that. Sure. The crown. In fact, I wonder, does it probably doesn't give you the crown unless you get the star medal. So my other save file must have all the comet medals then. Probably. Their PS2 working. I think now your Wii will also work. Nice. And yeah, happy to be of service. Get an AV to HDMI. Now your PlayStation works. Nice. Yeah, like I still have some of my old systems. In fact, I mean I have all of them except for my Wii U. I did get rid of at some point. Oh, and I guess yeah, I did, don't tell anybody, I did get rid of my Switch at some point. Because I thought the Switch 2 was going to be an easier sell for me, sooner. But I talked about it before, where it's like, it's not really necessarily just the pricing things, it's more just like, even if it was more affordable, it's more just like, there's not enough there for me to like warrant buying a whole new system, right? Because I mean, I don't know, I kind of thought Mario Kart World looked a little underwhelming, sort of at first glance. And it's weird to me now seeing, now that we've gotten to see more of DK Bonanza, which I think looks awesome. Like, actually, like, I was a little lukewarm on it at first, but then the Direct that just dropped today, right? I think it looks awesome, like, straight up. Still not, like, it's not, that alone is not going to be a system seller for me. Like, I'm going to have to wait for, like, more incentives. Just like with the Switch 1, I didn't get it until a good year and a half later. But that will be one of the games that, like, kind of, like, adds to 100 coins. It's kind of one of those things that, like, adds to the value that, you know, the console would have for me, kind of thing. Oh, wow, I'm bad. Oops. So, man, how are you supposed to get 100 coins? It's kind of crazy. $66. So So we got our kicks, but still need quite a few more. I might actually have to replay the level with keeping this in mind. Although, granted, I think some of the trees down there... I kind of want to try to go for this, but let me take a look real quick. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Maybe these fountains give you coins? I think I'll come back for this one, though. PS2, Wii, PS4, DS, 360, and PS5. That's a pretty good slate. Pretty good slate of systems right there. Yeah, I think holding on to your hardware makes sense in most cases. It's just like, for me, like the Wii U in particular, I think became a little redundant with the Switch. I know like the Wii U has its merit. There are games on there that are still there, and like it has certain functionality the Switch doesn't have. But for the purposes that I was kind of... that I would have gone back to the Wii U for, the Switch kind of fulfills that. Yeah, I could maybe get back there with the Cloud, but I think I would rather just do this actual first star first. Oh shit, I just missed out on a ton of star bits there. There's the Comet Medal. And so that's like an incentive to hold on to the Cloud and hold on to a few clouds before taking that launch star. Like I don't know if you'd be able to actually get that without any of the clouds. Probably not. No, you're good. I wouldn't count that as spam. Little opportunity to grab some of these other ones. No. Yeah, I'm not even sure I'm supposed to get 100 coins. It's kind of a lot. And I guess more so like getting 100 coins. What's it called? Before leaving that first area. There's gotta be some trick to it. Really bad at doing a backflip with Luigi. Can you even do the backflip? Yeah, okay. I was like, does Cloud prevent you from doing it? No, I'm just bad. Oh, that's right. This damn monkey. But yeah, DK Bonanza really looks like... I wouldn't blame anyone for thinking... Like, for that being a system seller for them, though, I would say. Only ones you get rid of are PS4 and 5. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair, and, like... I would bet anything that, like, PS6 in a few years is gonna... Probably sooner than we think, is, gonna carry your library over anyway, so... It's like one of those things. So now we'll go back, try to get 100 coins somehow. And feed the Luma. Bum ba bum, bumpy bum. Gotta bonk the steering wheel every time. Have to. At least I assume that's a hidden star. It must be. That's like 99% of the time that's what it is. I don't see why they would force you to collect 100 coins and then, well, what's it called? Not provide you with a star. It just doesn't make any sense. So I think, like, you climb these trees, right? Oh, I see. Yeah, that's what it is. Also gives coins a little bit more value in the levels, too. In addition to that lottery system that we'll unlock in a bit. Might as well grab the free life. I'm assuming these fountains also probably... They spout out coins if you, like... No? Okay. Yeah. Definitely stomp on these guys. For the extra coin. Maybe there's something around back here. Is there another question? Okay. This is promising. Ah, this is probably it. Yeah. Kind of a preamble a little bit to those moon challenges in Mario Odyssey. Where you have to, like, draw the shapes or whatever. Kind of indicative of that a little bit. 74, I think, is enough. Yeah, no, appreciate you popping in, ASVT. Have a good night. And I will. I will enjoy. Alright, so... Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is enough. Given that we're gonna get quite a few here as well. Yeah, easy. Nice. I like how he says I might transform. Bum, 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 bum. Vulcan Run's pretty good. It may have some issues. Yeah, just kind of. I mean, as far as what API to run on certain emulators, it really just kind of depends on your hardware and on the game. I feel like with, you know, after a certain point, a rig can kind of brute force its way to optimization, basically. At least that's what I find. Like, when it comes to, like, emulating, like, Switch or even PS3, it's like, you probably have to be a little more specific in terms of, like, what your settings are per game. I remember even with PS2, it was a little finicky for me a few years back, but, you know, in terms of, like, Super Nintendo, for instance, it's like, unless a game is randomly not compatible with a particular Super Nintendo emulator, it's like your rig can probably just brute force regardless of what emulator or game is running. Probably. But then it's also a matter of, like, you know, N64 emulation is, like, not as optimized in my experience as something like GameCube emulation, which is why you see a lot of, like, N64 decomps projects, like, popping up and stuff like that. Also, I wonder if there are other hidden stars here, but I kind of don't think so, and we'll figure that out later, once the comets spawn in. Booted it up. Bowser Jr. Like, I really like how... Just the pace of this game, it's just like boom, 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 boom. And I can understand maybe preferring something a little more leisurely, but it's kind of like what I was saying with Galaxy 1's hub world. It's more unique and interesting, but it also, like, kind of sort of just extends the time between levels, and not for, like, a particularly important purpose, in my opinion. Yeah. That was a little bit too slow. Got the comet medal right off rip. Goodbye. I'm glad that I'm feeling vindicated on my opinion, though, that I do prefer this game, because I'm already, like... You compare this to the early game of Galaxy 1, and I'm like, man, it's just, like... I just think things get more interesting faster, you know? But I do think, like, Galaxy 1 has enough ideas in its own right to still, like, have merit in my eyes, in terms of, like, still playing it on top of Galaxy 2, but... I wonder if I'll ever reach the point where, when I want to play the Galaxy games, I'll just do Galaxy 2 because it's so, like, just kind of gets you right into it, you know? I don't know. What to see. You know, opinions change over time, and the like. You know, there are games that I grew up loving, and, you know, still respect them for varying reasons, but I, you know, have either gone back to them or tried to go back to them, and, like, they just don't hit the same. And, you know, I don't sit around and, like, sulk about it. It's just more, like, kind of is what it is, you know? I love how small the arenas are that you're fighting these massive bosses, too. Makes things feel, like, really tense in a cool way. I gotta watch out, because he can actually, like, still hit me, But yeah, when this comes out, I had an opportunity to hit it. I kind of screwed it up, though. Oof. There it is. Yeah, I'm... You know, like, even though I don't have a Switch 2 at the moment and probably won't buy one until there's, you know, multiple exclusives that I'm compelled by, now that, like, once DK Bonanza comes out, just in a few weeks, or like in a month, I guess it is like a month, yeah. But once it comes out, like, you know, what's the slate for the rest of the year? We don't have, well, there is a date for ZA, right, I think? That's also a Switch 1 game. And, like, Prime 4, there's no date still. Wonder if that's still gonna make this year? I would guess they'll probably wait, like, I wonder, it's always... You know, as questionable as Nintendo's business decisions are in terms of, like, how we perceive them as consumers, at the same time, like, I'm always very curious to see what they have cooking, even if I'm not, like, personally interested, right? Like, there was that Princess Peach game that came out, like, a year or two ago, and I wasn't personally super interested in it, but I thought it looked, like, kind of unique and interesting. Like, kind of, at least on the surface level. But it's like, you know, I can look at a game and be like, alright, this looks kind of neat, like, you know, sort of neat. Not gonna play it, but, you know. Not to say that I would never play it, but it's just more like, I don't know. Gotta make choices, you know? This... I do remember this Galaxy pretty vividly, though. This is a really cool one. Got the buzzsaws from Mario World. Is that this track? No! I do recognize this track, though. Yeah. I know we need to hit the center, but I want to hit the... Do I have to hit the sides first? I don't actually know. Like, do we hit... Yeah, we do hit this side, then. Just long jump into the void. It's so cool, man. Speaking of cool, I did wrap up Metal Gear Solid 2, replaying that. Did quite a bit of achievement hunting there, but I didn't do, like, everything, because, Jesus Christ. Like, I'm not getting all the dog tags from every single guard. Fuck that. But, yeah, it was really fun revisiting that title. But at the same time, like, I'm now kind of realizing that my love for Metal Gear, while I do, like, think MGS2's story is really subversive and meta and, like, more relevant than ever, and all that kind of stuff, it, like, receiving all that information again through playing it felt like it was definitely, like, overly verbose, especially in the early hours. I guess I talked about this a little last time, where, like, it was a little much early on when things aren't really that interesting, but then when things do get interesting, it's kind of like, you know, it's interesting, but it's like, prior to that point, I was, like, remembering how much of the game's story in the early hours, like, just isn't, in my opinion. It's for a purpose, it's for a build-up and stuff like that, but that doesn't always translate to a game that I find compelling to replay, I guess. And so I jumped into Snake Eater for the first time in a while, and I'm kind of realizing that, yeah, my love for Metal Gear, while I do respect and, like, appreciate in the long term the stories of the first two games, I think I just kind of prefer the big boss games, like MGS3, and even 5 for as minimal as the storytelling is and stuff, but I jumped into Snake Eater, and I'm torn if I want to do, like a full playthrough of it with Delta on the horizon. Like, I might just wait for Delta, play Delta, and then when, depending on how I feel about Delta, like, maybe, like, at that point, go back to the original Snake Eater. Maybe, I don't know, I'm still torn. Because, like, I could still easily get through a playthrough of Snake Eater, and then play Delta when it drops. But it's also, like, would that feel a little too samey? Right? Will we ever see a Galaxy 3? Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting. I just wonder, has Nintendo ever done, like, a sequel to, like, a specific entry that late on, though? It would be bucking a trend. Like, the fact that we haven't gotten an Odyssey 2 in this span of time, I think a Galaxy 3 would be awesome, like, to see, for sure. But I don't know. I feel like Nintendo rarely does things like that, though. Not to say that, you know, we can't hope for it, but I am curious, given that Bonanza is clearly, like, kind of a sequel to, not storyline wise, but this is what I was going to get into earlier about, like, the lore stuff with Mario and DK. Like, I appreciate that people have fun with, you know, dissecting, oh, is Bonanza a prequel, whatever. Like, for me, I'm just kind of like, who cares? It could be a retcon, it could be a reboot, like, whatever it is what it is, kind of deal. And Nintendo typically doesn't care about that kind of stuff either, so I'm kind of like, why... In my opinion, I'm like, why should I? In that case. So... Yeah, so they just did a direct earlier today, and basically, like, DK's travel buddy is, like, a young Pauline. And so people are like, okay, is this a prequel to the arcade Donkey Kong games, or is it, like, a retcon? Is it Pauline's daughter? Like, you know, DK got his redesign and stuff like that as well. So it's like, okay, is this actually DK Jr.? Or... Like, people are already kind of, like, speculating... Oops, I screwed that up. But at the same time, I'm like... I just kind of take Nintendo games for what they are, unless there is, like, an explicit tie narratively. Like, even with Zelda, people love the Zelda timeline. I have a copy of Hyrule Historia from way back when it was first, like, printed. But, I don't know, I don't put a whole lot of stock in, like, the Zelda timeline even, and that's something that Nintendo did acknowledge but then proceeded to, like, not care about in terms of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, so it's like, I don't know. OOT and Majora's Mask are connected, and Twilight Princess, in turn, like, way, you know, further on. Wind Waker and Phantom Hourglass are connected, but, like, beyond, like, some of those easily noted connections, I don't put a whole lot of stock into it. What was I saying prior, though? In terms of Nintendo doing a follow-up, like, way down the road. A single one up this time, not 20. Not that I need them, but... Oh, we get the world map here? Okay, okay. Again, very Odyssey-esque. I know what I was saying. So, Bonanza is, like, very clearly... It seems like a sequel to Odyssey in terms of game design, not narrative. Also, yes, it does show the Comet medals, yeah. So you probably do need them for the crown. But, it's clearly, I should say a successor, not a sequel, but, like, it's clearly the successor to Odyssey in terms of gameplay. And it looks like it's running in the same engine and all of that. That begs the question, though, like, where or when are we going to see a new 3D Mario? And, like, you know, I'm still very much interested to see, even though I had issues with Odyssey, like, I'm very interested to see what they might do with the new 3D Mario. Even, again, like, the thing is, like, DK is, like, kind of that. Like, you know, like I was saying, the successor to Odyssey, so it's like... But it also would be weird to, like, go... We've already gone 8 years since Odyssey. And if Bonanza comes out this year, it's like, it doesn't make... Well, it is. But, like, when Bonanza comes out, there's no way they let 16 years go by. You know? So, like, they kind of, I feel like, have to have something in the oven in terms of 3D Mario. Oh, wow, I missed it by, like, 1 second. Shit. I think I got it on the previous run, though, and it wasn't the Comet Medal. In fact, I don't think the Comet Medal is typically tied to these kinds of challenges. Yeah, I'm curious to see, like... Because it is Super Mario Bros. 40th this year. Then again, next year is Super Mario 64's 30th. So I do wonder... Pun not intended, of course, with Super Mario Bros. Wonder, but I do wonder if a 3D Mario would make more sense. Not that Nintendo always celebrates their anniversaries like that extensively, but it's like, I wonder if they are planning to do a new 3D Mario, if it's already cooking, to release it next year in line with 64's anniversary versus the OG SMB's release date. But yeah. But in terms of, like, sort of my Metal Gear Solid replay saga, torn on doing a full playthrough of Snake Eater. I jumped in and cleared, like, a bunch of easy achievements, like, you know, hold up a guard, make Snake throw up, stuff like that. But yeah, because I'm just torn, because I know Delta's going to be, like, so faithful, where I'm like, is it going to feel a little redundant playing both of them in the same year? In the same season, even. So I don't know. And so, what I opted to do was I jumped into MGS 5 Ground Zeroes, and I'd never really played much of it. Like, I'd done the main mission before playing Phantom Bane, but I hadn't, like... I don't think I'd ever done, like, all the side ops or anything like that. And I'm going through them, and, like, I appreciate that it's, like, you know, one environment, whatever. I don't know, I'm not really finding the side ops to be, like, that enjoyable, in my opinion. But I'm still gonna just, like, knock them all out, because there's only, like... There's, like, 7 missions, including the main mission. So there's only, like, a handful of side ops, basically. But, dude, the way that the game plays... And I know Phantom Pain even refines some things a little bit more, too, in terms of how it physically plays. But, man, like, now I'm really thinking about Delta, and I'm like, even though I'm used to how Snake Eater like the PS2 version plays, or like the HD version. I'm like, yeah, but like if you take Snake Eater's narrative and characters, which I think are like excellent, my favorite in the series for sure, in terms of strictly the story speaking, and then you take MGS5's gameplay, which seems like it's going to be, I think it's going to be awesome. It's just going to be a matter of like if that story stuff translates into the new engine with like the updated visuals and stuff like that. And plus, like, if Metal Gear Online comes back, I've never really messed with that much. But that could be fun. Because I do think, I know it's weird to like talk about Metal Gear Solid while I'm playing a Mario game, but oh man, I love Hytale Falls. I think I'm gonna do this one. This is like one of my favorite levels in Mario, period, I think. I wish there was more to it, though. Like, I do wish there was, like, more stars with this concept. Because it's so cool, using the pepper to, like, go up walls and around and stuff like that. It's so good. It's so, so good. Also a good star bit farming level as well. You also get the remix of the Super Mario World Athletic theme. A mess. But yeah, I think, like, the main thing that, like, MGS5 is missing is, like, sort of that narrative and more so, I think, structure. Like, the structure is, like, a big thing. Like, I don't mind the open world, but I don't think it was, like, totally necessary in Phantom Pain. And so I'm like, yeah, like, if you take those mechanics and you put them in the context of MGS3's story and structure, I do think that, in theory, that would fix a lot of the issues. I think there's something up here, though. Oh shit, but we're facing the wrong way. But I also wonder, like, they have to alter, like, the AI and stuff like that for sure, because I think that if you kept it as is, a lot of the things that you can do with the way that MGS5 plays would probably break a lot of the level design. I'm really bad. I usually hold forward to stabilize, even though you don't need to. And then I kind of, like, tilt left and right. Wow, I'm really, really bad at this. I'm just trying to get to the very top, and I don't know if it's, like, the Comet Medal or if it's just star bits or something. Turn a little more aggressively. Yeah, that was closer. I could progress normally, but I want to see what's up top here. Dude, I'm so bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know it doesn't matter too much, but it's also like... There we go. Oh, just a 1-up? Wow. Well, still did it. Yeah. I don't know, I'm very curious to see how that turns out, right? Because, of course, like, Kojima's not involved with Delta, but it's also a remake, and, like, a one-to-one remake at that, so, like, I don't think there's, like, much cause to be concerned about that, per se. Like, if it were to be a new Metal Gear game, then, like, I wouldn't say that I'm, like, opposed to the idea of an MGS game without Kojima, but it definitely wouldn't be the same. At which point, it's like... I think it's one of those rare series where I think it's, like, so intertwined with the director that I think it kind of does matter. You know, I don't know that I can think of, honestly, really any other game series that is quite so entwined with the director who made it. You know, like, you could say BioShock. My favorite BioShock is BioShock 2, though, and that's the one that Ken Levine didn't work on. So it's like, that's more for gameplay purposes, though, not really storytelling, per se. But yeah, like, I don't know. I guess, like, there are, like, other notable names in the industry, but I feel like, you know, Koji Igarashi for Castlevania, for instance. But it's like, you know, it's not that I wouldn't, I don't feel like I wouldn't trust a different team or a different head director to work on a Castlevania game of all things, you know? Like, the pedigree is definitely there, but it's not like, oh my god, I should be, like, eating these enemies instead of yapping. And, you know, I think I spoke on, I get these names confused and I feel bad. But, like, the original creator of, like, Devil May Cry, Kamiya, Hideki Kamiya, like, he did, like, some kind of vlog or whatever recently where one of the questions that one of his viewers asked or something was, like, about a DMC remake, like, remaking either 1 or 3. I think he said something about, like, somewhat jokingly, but kind of like, you know, Capcom, call me if you're going to do a remake, sort of thing. Like, it seemed like he was interested in working on such a project if it were to come about. Or, like, he'd like to have his hands on it, at least. And that sort of stuff makes sense. And, you know, like, of course you have, was it Nagoshi with Yakuza Like a Dragon, but he, you know, he recently left. And stuff like that, so... And I guess you could argue, like, that series does feel different these days, but I don't know how much of that is due to Nagoshi before he left, either. I'd have to look at, like, the timeline of how involved he was with some of the more recent entries. And I also kind of just need to, like, play the more recent entries. Not that I'm too far behind, it's just more like... I don't want to speak on it too much, because I still haven't played 7 or 8 yet. But I will. At the very least 7, like I already own that on Steam. But you know, like Resident Evil seems to be thriving these days. I know it kind of entered like sort of a dark period in a lot of people's eyes. Back during like the 360 era, but definitely riding high now. Like, people seem to really, really love the new direction. And RE9... I'm interested in RE9, especially because it'll be... You can play it in third person. Which is kind of my preference for... you know, as viewers may know. That's kind of my preference in terms of anything shooting-oriented. I know calling Resident Evil, like, a third-person shooter is not, like, totally accurate, unless you're talking about, like, you know, debatably, like, 4, 5, and 6 kind of thing. It's more like survival horror, which has you third-person shooting. So you can kind of classify it as both, in my opinion, but... Shit. Okay, I saved it. That is a little tricky if you're gonna, like, try to swing up here. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-bum, oops. Yeah, and this star can be a little tricky to get. If you're bad, I'm kidding. Yashi. In fact, I should wishlist RE9. It's like, yeah, maybe I should play 7 and 8, but I'm also like... I don't know, I'm just like not that interested in playing like a first-person horror game, really. And yeah, part of that is like I don't really like... I don't mind games that are like tense, or like have like scary moments, per se. Like, you know, Bioshock sort of has somewhat of a horror tinge to it. That game freaks me out when I first played it. Granted, you know, coming up on Nintendo games, it is like kind of a far cry from what I was used to in terms of tone and all that. But it's only really in recent years that like I delved into Resident Evil and actually found that I did enjoy like the remakes so far. Definitely RE4 more so though. And I did grab RE3 for very cheap. But I still thought it was like enjoyable to an extent, just like not as good as, or like fleshed out as the 2 and 4 remakes. But then, like, you know, when I played RE5 and then Revelations, I much preferred RE5, and so I sort of, excuse me, I'm sorry, I sort of jokingly now say that I'm part of the problem in terms of Resident Evil, because I tend to prefer the more action-oriented ones, compared to the ones that are more like pure survival horror, sort of inventory management kind of stuff. But I wonder where RE9's gonna fall, and like how it's going to, like how it's gonna sort of incorporate ideas from both the third-person and first-person entries, and like kind of making those two playstyles make sense, right? Because typically, like, you design a game around one perspective, and, you know, breaking that perspective can cause issues with the game design, depending. You know, like, if you made this gameplay in first person, I don't think it would work, right? Like, you could maybe, like, functionally get through it, but it would not feel as good or intentional because it's not designed in that way. And so I've seen some, not complaints, but like I've seen some criticisms of like how RE8 added in a third-person perspective, but it doesn't like feel quite like it was designed with that in mind, even though you technically can play it as such. But with RE9 being developed with both of them in mind, I'm like, I don't know, I'm just very curious about it. Oh, okay. So we need like a... be careful here. I also think it's crazy, I never picked up on the foreshadowing of like Bowser doing his little boulder attack in Galaxy 1, like in his final boss form. And it's like, they probably, knowing Nintendo, it was probably like either Miyamoto or Koizumi or whoever was working on this game at the time, is like, what if Mario could do that kind of thing, you know? It's like very, very Nintendo-esque. Yeah. In terms of Resident Evil, I do consider myself as more of a casual fan than someone who's like super interested in playing every single entry or anything. Even though I've played like a good number of them at this point. You know, 2, 3, 4 Remake, 5, Rev 1, Rev 2. Alright, we have to hit him in the butt. Or at least close to the butt. Shit. I don't know why I'm keeping the pointer on screen. I'm just so used to holding LB because of Yoshi. Boom. Got him. I find these bosses more fun to fight than most of Galaxy 1's. Even though the Beetle one that we did is like sort of similar, but you have the Cloud, which kind of adds a dimension to it. But yeah, I am excited to grab that Raido remaster. As soon as I wrap up episode I guess. Which again, like I'm getting closer, it's just like, you know, it is basically just dungeon crawling, so it's kind of can take a while. Yeah, I think, did I mention, I think the FF13 video, I'll plan to get that out early next week, which will be like 2 weeks from my previous video. Because I think I'll be able to time it to where I can get back to doing videos like bi-weekly or bi-monthly, depending on what you... I hate that, like, those terms can either mean... Usually when you say bi-weekly, you mean every other week. But if you say bi-monthly, it can kind of mean every other month or twice a month. Like, when you say biannual, my mind jumps to twice a year. But it could also mean every... I don't know, it's just a weird... English sucks sometimes. It's also great sometimes, though. The flexibility of our vocabulary and all that. I say as someone who only speaks English, so I can't really speak to other languages, but, you know, I'm definitely biased in that way. A new galaxy is born. It's Jason Bourne. It's a single star one. I guess, like, is this actually a single star or is there a hidden one? I guess it's kind of unclear, because usually it'll pop up. Maybe there's a hidden star. I'll have to come back through and clean up comments later anyhow. Do I want to do Honey Bloom? I figure... Let's do Wild Glide to kind of show off the glide controls a little bit. Oh, the Bourne trilogy? Yeah. I think I've only seen the first one. And that was years ago at this point. I think I have to talk to one of these guys. Why the jump button and the talk button are the same, I do not know. We glide. So this is, you hold down on the D-pad. And something that some people have commented and have had issues with, which I had to like test for myself, is the fact that by default he is nosediving, but like that's just kind of how this game plays. Like that's just kind of how it is. Also a little bit of texture smearing on the wing effect. I don't really know what is up with that, but it's really like a small thing. But yeah, kind of by default, you kind of want to be descending sort of quickly though to begin with. But like you can nosedive even further, like this, like pretty much straight down. But yeah, the default is like at a decline because these levels have you like descending in some sense. And so like if you want to slow your descent, it can also cause issues with like running into stuff if you do that too much though. But like you want to like sort of pull back on the stick a little bit. Sort of by default. And I think it works well. Then again, I made the damn thing. I made the damn control scheme, so... Again, I'm like biased in that way. And yeah, it's just one of those things with the flying controls being inverted as well. Same with swimming controls in a lot of cases. Although, actually, are the swimming controls inverted in this game? I'd have to check. It tripped me out in MGS2 that the swimming controls weren't inverted by default, because I'm so used to that being a thing, and I think that's actually my preference, weirdly. Even though I don't play inverted But like when it comes to flying and swimming, I'm just so used to that, you know? Like you play a Star Fox game or something like that. Well, no, actually Star Fox, it's not like you're angling yourself. You're like physically moving laterally like this, as opposed to like tilting and stuff like that. Well, no, like you are I don't know. No, Star Fox is inverted, is it not? I don't know. I can't think of it right now. But that's just one of those things that feels natural to me, and I know like people who play inverted by default with camera control kind of see it as like moving a joystick, so like when you pull up, your character would look down, right? And vice versa. And same with like you pull to the left and they look right, sort of thing. But I don't know, I kind of perceive it as just like I'm moving the camera to the left, like to look to the left, so I'm moving left. But then in terms of swimming, flying, I guess like because flight controls actually are inverted, I don't know. Then again, I think back to like certain GameCube games, like Twilight Princess for instance, and a lot of games of that era had inverted horizontal camera control. It just like wasn't standardized yet. Like if you go back and you play games like that, not that you're controlling the camera much in Twilight Princess, but when you do try to move the camera, it is inverted left to right. Do Honey Bloom or do... You know what? Let's find out. Let's... I don't really think about it. Like, I just kind of... I play these swimming levels and I don't really think about it. Now let's find out if it's inverted or not. I'm pretty sure it is. Because, yeah, in MGS2, it was, like, freaking me out a little bit. That's the other thing, too, is, like, back to the Metal Gear discussion, as I'm sure all the Nintendo fans are thrilled, but, MGS2 just has a lot of sections, too, where it's, like, you're kind of, like, platforming, sort of, but it doesn't feel great. Like, I don't like those elements. Because it's just, like, a lot of instant death, like, if you fuck this up, you fall off and you die, and that's not the biggest deal. But it's just kind of, like, annoying. And I feel like MGS3... Like, MGS1 is sort of designed sort of similarly to the original Metal Gear games, which is, like, kind of obtuse, and, like, lots of instant death kinds of things from the obtuseness sort of deal. Like, if you don't have a certain item or something, like, you don't have the thermal goggles, the mine detector, or whatever. Stuff like that. Or, like, you know, even figuring out how to fight certain bosses and stuff. And there's a charm to that for sure. I think I don't know, I mean... The fact that Snake Eater was my first Metal Gear does, like, kind of endear me to how that game is designed a little bit more. But, like, the way that game is designed is, like, the bosses are, like, I think, I don't know, there's flexibility in the older bosses to an extent. Particularly in 2, maybe, but, like, kind of not really, though. Whereas, like, 3 gives you some, like, more options, I feel like, in terms of how you deal with them. And there's, like, not as many, from what I'm recalling, like, forced combat encounters either. Which, like, sort of never feels great in those older Metal Gear games because they're built for stealth, not outright combat. You're supposed to kind of feel powerless in combat. But then it forces you to fight, like, you know, a dozen soldiers with, like, automatic weapons. Like, at the end of MGS2, for instance, and it's like, this just doesn't feel good. Like, it feels fine to stealth around and, like, do that kind of stuff, but, like... And, like, sure, put me in combat as a punishment for getting caught. But yeah, like, the mandatory combat stuff, And, like, one could argue that maybe the combat stuff is a little too smooth and a little too easy to manage in 5. But Snake is also really frail in that game. Like, it really doesn't take much. If you have a few guys shooting at you at once, you're toast, you know? Until you at least get, like, the battle armor. And, like, at that point, it's kind of, like, a decision to do that, I guess. Depending on what you want to do. And I feel like that's actually... I don't know, I feel like MGS5 integrates, like, self-imposed challenge pretty well. Ow. I'm trying to jump out of the water and I'm very bad. And yeah, it's definitely inverted here. Yeah, I'm like, how do you... I thought you could just jump out. I can't seem to reliably... You have to be at a standstill, really? It's a little weird. So what, I need 15 coins? I'm so ass. Oh shit. Let's try this again. Also, I see some coins floating in the water over there, so I don't even necessarily need to do this. But I'd like to get the health back. Nice. It's weird, like when you're up against an edge, it'll jump you out. But I'm like when you try to jump... Like I'm trying to jump out here, like I'm pulling back on the stick and trying to jump out, but it like kind of doesn't let you. It's a little weird. Ba-ba-dee-ba-ba-da-beep. Yeah, I guess we'll do this optional one first. Like, it would be kind of nice if you do these optional ones, you get the star, it doesn't boot you out, and then, you know, you can simply, like, it just puts a launch star and puts you back to where you launched from to begin with. And maybe that wouldn't work with all the optional stars. But for this game so far, at least, it definitely would. I need to hydrate more. Finish off the sparkling water. Get the water going. I think it's fun that you can race against your ghost for better times and stuff like that. That's the thing I'm super interested in, but it's a nice feature. There's a little extra. I know I'm bouncing back and forth between talking points, but in terms of like DK Bonanza, not saying that I would want it to cost $80, but I am surprised that Mario Kart World is the $80 game to DK Bonanza's $70, because Bonanza looks much more feature complete and kind of cohesive as a game. So it's weird. I'm now like even more convinced that the $80 thing is just a ploy to get you to buy the bundle. But it's just weird. It's weird. Like, I know people are upset about $70 games and stuff. Not that every game is $70 these days, to be fair, but it's like a little weird though. Just using a Dolphin control scheme after installing SMG2. Nice, nice. Hope it works well. Typically, the issues people have run into are pretty minor, so... It's just, you know, it's tricky sometimes if someone comments about an issue they're having, and I'm like, well... It's, like, hard to test for that issue because I, you know, built it on this rig. So it's kind of hard to troubleshoot in that way. But yeah, it's cool. I figured that finally streaming these games would get... Oh, I'm really bad. Would get some folks to pop in from that video. Which is neat. Tilt stuff was tilting but works well. Yeah, I mean... It's definitely... It's, you know, it's at least more manageable than it is with motion controls, in my opinion. I think that's one of those things. I feel like the motion controls in general in this game are pretty unintrusive, but man, those ball levels in particular, I remember being very frustrated with those back in the day. Right, so we wall jump up this, I think. Damn, I didn't... Wow. I just realized, like, you could get a double hit with a single spin. That's kind of crazy. I don't know if I've ever done that before on a crystal. Like, hit it in such a way to where he hits it twice. That's crazy. Any thoughts on a new 3D Mario game? Keep hoping for Galaxy 3. Yeah, I was kind of going into that earlier a little bit, where because like DK Bonanza is clearly from the Odyssey team and like seems very much like a successor to Odyssey in terms of gameplay, I figure like if there is a 3D Mario in the works, it would have had to been alongside, because there's no way they go 8 years from Odyssey to DK and they're going to do another another 8-year dev cycle from DK to another Mario. Like, it just doesn't make sense. But in terms of what I'd like to see, I don't know. I kind of like that Mario, for the most part, in its 3D entries, kind of gets inventive and different from entry to entry. I say as I'm playing Galaxy 2, which is a very iterative sequel. But, you know, I think like a straight-up Odyssey 2 would have made sense at a certain point. Closer to when that game actually came out, of course. That I think could have improved upon some of my criticisms of it. Honestly, kind of like how this game sort of solves some, albeit small, issues that I have with the first Galaxy. Like, you know, the way the comets work, the streamlining of, like, level select and stuff like that. A bunch of other smaller things that I've talked about that are hard to remember off the top of my head. But yeah, in terms of like a Galaxy 3, it probably is too late, because like I was saying with an Odyssey 2, it's like you think that would have happened by now. And if they didn't do an Odyssey 2, given how successful that game was, I don't know if they'd ever come back, because it's not really in Nintendo's DNA to do stuff like that, like to come back to ideas like that so far removed from the original game. Unless it's more like a dev cycle thing, like, you know, Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom, for instance. I think I already got the Comet Medal the last level, right? So I don't think I need to worry about, like, exploring right now. Although, like, you know, of course Bowser's Fury is, like, probably indicative of what they're doing. I'm unsure if, like, Bowser's Fury was made by the Odyssey team. I kind of hate how ambiguous Nintendo is with their teams. There is actually an interesting video out there that breaks down Nintendo's internal studios and what they work on, but they're so mysterious about it and weird. Like, I get kind of wanting that family-friendly, like, maintaining the magic and stuff, but it's like, yeah, but like to just tell us who's working on it, you know? Like, I find that interesting. Oh, I should have figured this guy was invincible. I wonder if I can make that jump. Probably not, though. Nintendo doesn't play well with straight sequels. Yeah, like there's... Yeah, no worries. Hope you have a good night. A lot of people popping in at 3 a.m. their time, which is kind of crazy. But, what's it called? That was a weird skid. Yeah, Nintendo doesn't really do... Usually their sequels, as seen with their reluctance to do more Star Fox and F-Zero, it's like they kind of need like some sort of new twist or gimmick, as some people will call it. Or just like some new idea or premise to sort of justify making a sequel of some kind. But I also kind of don't buy the fact that they can't think of anything in terms of Star Fox or F-Zero or any of their other dormant franchises. Like, there's definitely ideas you could do. What the... Yeah, jumping out of the water is, like, constantly kind of a weird thing. I think you either have to be at a complete standstill or up against a ledge, is what it seems like. I just came off of doing 120 stars in Galaxy 1, so, like, I'm surprised that this is, like, bothering me now of all times. I thought that was just gonna be the star. But wait, there's more. There's Captain Toad. There it is. Is there a way to skip this? I feel like... Okay, yeah, right. So it's like a hard surface on that side. I see. So we actually want to go... I think it's... Not that there's that many options. I think it's... here? Oh, not quite. I feel like I'm like very slightly off somehow. Is it further to the left? No, I think it's the opposite direction by a bit. What? There we go. Oh, maybe it's not even a skip thing. So how do you get rid of this? Is there a way to get rid of this thing without I probably have to destroy all the enemies, I would imagine. I don't know if I need to destroy the ones on the other side, too. We'll find out. Oh, okay, one of them just has a key. Let's see. And then I think... Yeah, I don't think there's a way to skip. It's sometimes fun to mess with the physics and, like... Oh, wait, shake, duh. Like, it's sometimes fun to mess with the physics and figure that out. Like, figure out how to make jumps that aren't, like, intended, so to speak. Lit. But yeah, I mean, we don't really know much about Nintendo's, like, Switch 2 slate either. So, a 3D Mario could be on the way. I would imagine so. They don't want to cannibalize, like, DK's sales. And they are in the same genre, so, like, it would make sense to distance them at least by a year. Maybe. It's like, yeah, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, maybe for Mario 64's anniversary, 30th. That would make sense. Again, not that Nintendo is predictable with how they handle anniversaries or anything, but... the timing just kind of works out. It just kind of works out, I guess. Similar with, like, the FE4 remake, if that's actually in the works. Alright, Cosmic Cove is done. We'll do Honey Bloom and move on to the boss of World 2. I'm trying to think of other examples where Nintendo's done, like, iterative sequels. Usually it's on the same console. You know, I guess Breath of the Wild, technically a Wii U game, sure, but... all the same, both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom launched on Switch. And, like, yeah, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess run the same system, but they're not... Like, yeah, Twilight Princess does sort of evolve some ideas from Wind Waker, but not, like, as directly as I'm thinking. Maybe I have to spin and then we'll jump. No, I have to spin, like... Oh, I know it wants me to swing. No, but I think I can do this. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Because most of the time it's, like, one entry per console gen. Or at least that's what it was for a long time with them. Oh, I forgot you can't, like, wall jump out of it. You can't wall jump out of a spin after another wall jump. Damn, I'm really... Part of it is Luigi's physics being different, but... Do I really have to swing again? I feel like I should be able to do this... Okay. I see. It probably wants me to get the B power up, right? I feel like this should be doable. I don't want to accidentally skip the Comet Medal. I'm like, this should be doable without. Although I think that's just secrets. Also, I had it without doing the spin, but we'll just move on. Because I should be able to view... Oh, I see. I think it wants you to fall down or either take the B back, maybe. All right, but that makes it run out. I want to see what's up here. I'm pretty sure it's just star bits is what it looked like. But the last thing I want to do is, like, lose... or, like, skip out on the star medal. So we'll try this again. And I'll, like, make extra sure that I've got, like, the full height. Yeah, okay, there's star bits. Wait. Is that just, like, a skip? Is that a skip or is that a hidden star? Wait a second. I feel like that's not the main star. And if it is, that's a crazy skip. Hidden star, okay. Okay. It's cool that it, like, just tells you straight up. I don't remember that being there. It's kind of crazy. Boop-de-boo. Boop-de-boo. I have no idea when I'm gonna stop. I have no idea where... Like, it's like so boom, 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 boom. It's so easy to just, like, keep going. But then again, it's, only, like, just over 2 hours, even. I feel like I've made so much progress. Oops. That was an interesting interaction. Oh, I thought I was gonna grab the... thing. Will be side-scrolling level. I do remember this one. Oops. I was trying to get fancy with it. Since you don't need, like, your full flight gauge for this necessarily, but I bonked. There's the star medal, one of the easier ones to get for sure. Oh, man. Can I kill these guys? No. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can just make it... Oh, no. It's actually... They made it so you can specifically not make that. That's one of those things I feel like it's an easy trap to fall into with, like, platformer design. Where, like, if you space the jumps out, like, too perfectly kind of thing. Then again, that works to, like, Super Meat Boy's benefit in a lot of cases. Not every case, but there are a lot of cases in that game where, as I was calling it when I was 106%ing that game most recently, like, trusting in the jump arcs, you know? Like, kind of, just trusting that running at full speed and jumping will get you the distance that you need for a particular challenge. Again, it doesn't always work perfectly, but there are a lot of times where that is kind of the intention. Doesn't mean that the execution is easy, mind you, because a lot of those jumps are really tight in that case. But yeah, very, very interested in how Super Meat Boy 3D is going to turn out, because, you know, one of my favorite 2D platformers ever. Getting, like, a weird out of the blue 3D sequel, remake, I don't even really know what it is. Super amped for that. Whatever it might be. Alright, we got the star medal, so I don't need to worry about exploring anymore. These things are interesting. Kind of cool design. Oh man. Just knocked me right back into it though. I mean, can you stun these with star bits? No, it doesn't look like it. Oh no, wait, never mind. Not a technique that I use super often, but gotta remember that it is an option. That is such a risky, little area there. Ba-da-da-dum. I wonder if my theory that this game is longer is actually correct, though. Because, like, the distance from doing one star to the next is faster. But then again, what? That first Galaxy stream was, what, 3 hours and a half? 3:45, maybe? It was like a longer one. And I got 43 stars in that time. And I have 23 stars currently. So it'd be a matter of, can I get another 20 stars in the next hour and a half or so? Or more or less. So, because I feel like a lot of these levels are actually longer, too. I think most of these early stars, most of the early stars in Galaxy 1 are pretty short. There's like a lot of levels that are like really short, which is cool too. But, you know, like this game has, it also has, like Galaxy 1 also has fewer galaxies. Like you're doing like, for most galaxies there's 6 stars. You know, 3 regular stars, a hidden star, a comet, and then a purple coin comet. Pulsars already? I mean, not already, but... In fact, it's kind of weird that Pulsars took this long to show up. I'm wondering if the comet medal is around the side here, so I'm going to take a little bit of a detour. Nice. I just want to keep an eye out for the... I almost really screwed that up. Just trying to keep an eye out for the comet medal if there is one. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, I see it. No, that's not it. It's not like... It's not like back there, is it? Again, though, I'm not like super opposed to replaying a level necessarily if it's warranted. Okay, one up. Oh, I see it. You have to get on top of the womp. That's what it is. Oh, that's definitely not what I meant to do. And so, like, the trick here... There we go. Love to see it. Spare the womps. Yeah, and then we get this like vortex thing from the very last level of Galaxy, or the final boss level. Got these guys. Like, look at this. This is like so good, dude. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. I could damage boost probably across this. I mean, well, maybe not quite at this point. A little electric barriers. Oh, I kind of screwed that up. I think I bonked, which is what caused that. Ow. That's not nice. That's not nice. It fucking kills him. Oh, we can get another 6 over here. Get a refresh here. Whoops. Oh, that was like way off. I have to get used to doing these. I think you can kind of hit it before it's fully rises out of the ground, though. I wish you could do it crouched. That'd be funny. Bobby. Like a space pancake. He summons the meteors, and then it's a good idea to bait him to punch like on the opposite side of the planet. Positioning these can be tricky, but that is, you know, part of the strategy. Because the thing is, you don't want him to, like, yeah, he destroys them if he hits them directly. Oh shit. Fire breath again, okay. Makes sense. And then the punch. Nice. I'm kind of impressed that I landed all of those. Back to normal size. Well, is that normal size? He's still kind of huge. I guess the scaling there is probably accurate in all cases, but like Mario Kart, for instance. Although I guess to be fair, in a universe where eating a mushroom makes you grow in size, I guess scaling doesn't really matter, you know? Like I guess like Bowser just asks one of his asks a Goomba to like run into him so he takes damage before going Mario Karting. I don't know what I'm saying. This is what I mean in terms of like dissecting Mario lore too deeply. It's like, I don't know, man. There's just, this shit just kind of is because that's it, like just because. You can go sheesh. I don't even know what the noise that was. Off to World 3. Not the Battle Network equivalent. Part of me feels like this would be a good stopping point. I know it's a little shorter, but I feel like because this game is like so rapid fire, it could feel like a little bit more exhausting in that way. Or you press A. I maybe actually could have done that first Yoshi level as Luigi if I think I only tried pressing B. I didn't try like backing out the other way, but we're far removed from that now. What do you have here? Oh, nice. Get a little one-up for getting the hidden star. And then you... Right, share star bits. So, like, I could... Wait. Yeah, I guess this is from my other save file, then. So I could, like, handle the Hungry Lumas in that way. I think I'm okay, though. Is there interest? Like, I forget, does he... I feel like the incentive to do this is also because he accrues interest on what is deposited, but I don't know if that's true or not. Also, I am very glad that the Luigi Gecko code actually worked. That we were able to play as him sooner than usual. 1 star bit, wow. Yeah, because a pipe opens up on his other ear, right? Eventually, like behind here, and that's where you do the lottery thing for extra lives. Oh, this is the second player tutorial guy. I don't know, I feel like I feel like I'm kind of like satisfied with that session of Galaxy 2. I know it's a little shorter of a stream. But now it's like if I press on, like, the worlds get a lot more... Well, wait, is it equivalent? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... I guess they all are 7 galaxies. But it's of course going to get more complex, and then there's like backtracking and all that kind of stuff. I feel like that's a good opener. You know, well, okay. Let's do one more thing before I call it. You've got the Chimp Challenge in Fluffy Bluff. Like, what I can do is, even if I do 2 of the 2 worlds today, I can, like, check and see if there's anything worth backtracking for. And that'll, like, get more and more as we go, of course. Let's do the Monkey Challenge to wrap up. That'll be 25 stars, right? Bum, bum, bum. Oh, the Stomp Challenge, yeah. And I think you get a multiplier for... Dude, this game's so good. Finally. Say hey. I'm the greatest game player in the galaxy. Definitely has a radio voice or whatever. Old-timey radio voice. Oops. Oh shit. Damn, yeah, without the momentum, it's a little... Yeah, at least you get points for actually just killing them regular, or like with the spin. Thought I could land that. Alright, we have still over a minute. Oh, you get point. Oh, okay. I see where I screwed up then. I can still maybe salvage it by grabbing 3 extra coins. These are star bits. Damn, I skipped over the coins thinking that that's all there was to it. Oh, that gets you 1,000? Okay. Easy money. I could definitely have done much better if I had realized, though. Oh, you just have to wait out the timer? That's a little annoying. I did clear it a lot faster, though. And I don't even think, like, I feel like standing around and grabbing those extra coins really wouldn't have taken that much extra time. Can't wait for the bowling pin one in that Ice Galaxy. Grab this, I think that's 25 stars, that's a pretty good milestone. Not, you know, divisible by 120 or anything, but it is something. I also feel like I'm kind of starting to run out of steam, so I'm like, yeah, let's call it here. And also, we've also yet to see a comet actually spawn in. Even though I've been getting all the comet medals. So, yeah, like there might be a hidden star that I might have missed somewhere, but well, you know, I'll double back and get those later. Yeah, like there's nothing like showing up for now. So I think next time we'll continue on with World 3. I do remember these being fun levels. I mean, pretty much all the levels in this game are fun to play. We'll go back to the Starship Mario save and quit. And yeah, I'll be back on Friday, and we'll continue on.